dad joke time. You ready this week?
Yes, I am.
Do you want to go first this time? Because you didn't have one last week.
I'll go first. Yeah.
All right.
All right. How do you know that your clock is hungry?
It eats a lot of time. That's a terrible answer.
It goes back 4 seconds.
It goes back for seconds.
Mhm.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the couple that spent $1,000 on their front door? What a grand entrance.
Oh, that's good. That's
It's
really
a
good.
home one, too.
I mean, on brand, brother. I love it.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us here in November. We got Mr. Tim. He's gearing up and getting ready for the holidays because he loves holidays.
Yeah.
Because you got
start shopping.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, I do as well. I just hope everybody enjoys one little Tonka truck and we just get that for everybody.
That would be great. But I just know that over the next several weeks, it will be stacks upon stacks of Amazon boxes.
Yeah.
And I won't know which ones I should and shouldn't open. So
we just gotta when you make the order, you just gotta put like a certain person's name or something on it. That's the trick I always do.
The Grinch.
The Grinch. Yeah, do it that way.
Yeah.
And Amazon now is dropping off more and more via drone.
I've not seen that at all.
Not here, but I mean other places, mostly cities. They've actually gotten pretty good at it.
Oh yeah, all that automated stuff in the cities and the same day stuff.
Yeah,
we have it in an hour.
Calvert,
we move a little slower.
We're a little slower, but we'll get there. It's fine. All right, so we have to talk about it because we really don't want to too much, but this is the main question I'm getting. And we're not going to get into the political side of the politics. We're going to get into the data side. But now that the election's over, decisions have been made, policies are starting to set in place. We're starting to get an idea of who's doing what, where, when, and how.
Yeah.
We're going to follow the data and tell you the thing that you don't want to hear is that the housing market's not going to change a whole lot.
Yeah. So I talked, I think, a month ago about the Fed cut rates in September, and that's the Fed funds rate, and what happened to mortgage rates after that. They went up.
Yeah.
What has happened over the last couple weeks is mortgage rates have gone up even further for a couple reasons. One being the market doesn't like surprises. Wall Street does not like surprises. Nope. And the landslide nature and then the sort of the red wave that wasn't expected, it shocked the system a little bit.
Yeah.
We're starting to claw it back a little. Once things settle in, like the surprising nature to the market is always bad. It lends itself to volatility. But once things settled in and things are accepted and we have a way forward, and then there's going to be conversations about policy and things like that, maybe things settle down. But for right now, mortgage rates are kind of going up a little bit. And then they're just very worried about the data and inflation and things of that sort of, whether or not inflation is what we don't want is something called stagflation, where it just is very sticky and kind of just remains at this level. It's not super high, but it's not improving. So there's a lot of different concerns in the marketplace that whereas before it was, let's get past the election and then we'll see what happens. Well, there was never any substance to that to begin with.
No, that's just mostly people's fears and emotions.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And that's a very real thing. We feel that every day. Mm-hmm. And so when somebody kind of came to me with, hey, I think we're just going to wait until X, I would give sort of my opinion where I don't think that there was any good or bad to that time frame of waiting till after the election. It's just kind of a moot point. You know? It doesn't really influence us that much.
Now, we usually tend to see traditionally around the holidays things slow down anyway, because people are busy, they're spending money on gifts. The Amazon truck coming into your driveway.
Right.
So we traditionally see things slow down this time of year anyway. So the election really didn't play a big part of anything. Mm-hmm. The data and stats, and I just did a seller video as well recently. The data and stats show that it's about 5 to 6 months where we start to see things like kind of stabilize, and you'll maybe see a little bit of interest rate, but it's the last 16 years of elections. It's been 5 to 6 months, minus 2008, which we'll throw that out the window as a debacle.
Right.
But it's been about 5 or 6 months after the election where we really settle in, buyers get back out there, rates are where they need to be. But until then, if you're planning on buying, the rates are where they are. They're 6, maybe high 5s, and they're not going to change a whole lot anytime soon, no matter who's president. Mm-hmm. And the market's going to fluctuate a tiny bit. But again, we're going to see some uptick probably with Christmas shopping and things. So
I mean,
nothing's unusual.
we got
Really.
to a point where we were very squarely in the fives. Now we're really kind of mid sixes, mid to high sixes. But again, I've been telling my clients this, and this is across the board, no matter if it's an election year or what have you. If a seller is listing their house in November, December, January, they have a bona fide reason to sell.
Yeah.
And they want to get a deal done. So if you're a buyer out there, just understand, and this is, I feel like ad nauseum, we talk about this every year. There are always deals to be had in what we call kind of the real estate off season, which is the cold months around the holidays. So if you have somebody that is listing their house around this time, they want to get their house sold. They're not just doing it because it's a convenient time.
Which leads me to our next trend that we're seeing right here in October, November, and to help a lot of buyers is we're seeing a lot of closing help. Oh, yeah. You and I just did a deal where the guy got max.
Yes.
I haven't seen a 4% max closing help in a really long time, but that person was ready to move on. They wanted to do it before the end of the year. She wanted to move on to her next phase of her life. She was retiring, wanted to be done. House needed a little updating and love, but now he's got the money to do that because they're going to give him the closing help he needs to do a few projects around the house and get it to where he wants it. And it's going to be the house that he wants. He's going to be there for a long time.
I have another one where it's a divorce situation and the buyer came in, they go, listen, full price, but we want all of our closing paid.
Exactly.
And this particular situation, again, similar to what I just said, they had a real reason to need to sell. It was a divorce. They wanted to split it up and be done with it. And they made a deal work where our buyer's very happy with the terms.
Yep. So if you're a buyer and don't take the house off the list that need a little bit of work, need a bit of love, that's a great way to build equity. Again, that's something we talk about pretty frequently. Don't go over the top and like get into a complete rehab unless that's really what you want to do, but get into something where it just needs like some kitchen counters, or that bathroom needs remodeled, or just something that's not too crazy. And then use the funds that they're going to give you for the closing help to kind of make it your own and do it the way you want to do it. And so
it's one of the biggest ways that I've seen my clients over the last, I've been doing this for 12 years, and some of the people that have progressed from house to house, and they just, they buy the home that just needs a little bit of work, and they just go room by room over time, maybe a 2 to 3 year period. And after a few years, all of a sudden they have this home that has all their own personal touches to, and it is nice and fresh, and they have a ton of equity. And some of them have done that 2 or 3 times to the point where they're in that forever home, and others just keep doing it. It truly is a great way to build equity, because if you're going to live in the house, it's primary residence, great mortgage terms. So this particular client that we have that you just discussed, I think that's exactly what his plan is.
Yep, that's exactly the plan.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing was we have not seen too much, and this might be a decent time of year to get around and do it, but like the land purchasing, because you do have like a tax season coming up, you might have a little bit of write-off and so forth if you're leaning towards that way. There's not a lot of land listings currently, but it'd be a good time of the year to, if you're to make that purchase and get yourself prepared to do something to build on or whatnot for the following year. But we're not dealing with a ton of those right now, but just a food for thought situation.
Sure. I mean, listen, they always say that buy land, they're not making any more of it. But there is, in our area, there is land to be had. Some of it maybe not even be listed. You get somebody like Billy who has connections and maybe sort of knows that, hey, I got a whisper that this person is interested in selling, and you just have to pair yourself up with somebody that has a good network like you do.
And this is a good time to do it towards the end of the year, where you get that, like I said, to get a different additional write-offs, or maybe you had a nice little, you had a good year, maybe a little surplus, things of that nature. So
the other thing I want to mention is we do have, and I think I have 4 of them in the pipeline right now, which is a fixed rate second mortgage, and it's a fantastic product for debt consolidation. I've had several clients who, listen, life is expensive. They got to a point where they said, you know what, I'd like to kind of have a clean slate. Let's pay this all off. We'd go as far out as a 30-year term and consolidate that debt and give you some relief. So it always kind of sticks a little bit better around the holidays, because we do want to spend money and give our children or our family a nice Christmas. And every now and then on the back end of that, you go, okay, now I'm faced with having to chip away at this.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're still feeling that from the last 24 months where everything, inflation's gotten out of hand. So if you're interested in tapping into your equity, because that's one of the biggest things, tools that people have right now is equity in their home. Our fixed rate second is a fantastic product, and I've been really happy that we've been able to offer that to people. So again, I think, within our branch, we have about 12. I have 4 of them myself, and all 4 clients are just over the moon with the terms.
And so we've also in the past talked about the idea of somebody who's got a house that they want to make that next move up, using or utilizing that current house and all that equity to make that transition easier,
Mm-hmm.
right? We've talked about various products like the one you just mentioned, and or maybe a HELOC, or there's a lot of different things to make that next step. We just had clients who did a HELOC, used that money to do a few improvements here and there, got themselves into a rental for now, so it's a temporary situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they sold that house, they paid off the HELOC completely, and they were in great shape. So there's ways to make that a little easier for you if you have equity. And that's, I mean, it's my personal opinion, to make it easy on yourself. You've put your time and effort into this. You don't want to make it so stressful that you don't like the process.
Sure.
You've put your time, you put your effort, you've made great decisions, you've been paying that mortgage. Make the transition easy for yourself if you want to, ready for that move up or even down. Mm-hmm. If you're ready to move down too, we have a lot of people downsizing. Yeah. If you're ready for it, use the equity in your house and come talk to Tim about the best financial strategy. Maybe it includes paying off a few things as well.
Sure. That particular client, you gave a roadmap and they followed it to a T.
Worked out well.
And it's worked out really well for them. Back to your land conversation, yep. The fixed rate second is a good option for, let's say a lot is on the market for $150,000. Yeah. You have a ton of equity in your house. You want to buy the land, secure it, but you don't want to build for a year or two. Or this is a great product for that. So you don't have to go get a land loan. Some land loans the terms aren't great. Sometimes it's a maximum, like 10 or 15-year term.
Yeah.
This fixed rate second allows for maybe a longer term on it, so that you can have a low payment while you're holding the land, and then eventually you can do a construction loan anyways and pay it off. So a lot of flexibility there.
A lot of good options. So be smart as we get into the end of the year. Everybody's planning and getting themselves ready for the 2025. So there's lots of different options for you, a lot of different things to think about. We're here to go over your best options to make sure we give you all the data and information to make the best decisions. But do note that towards the end of the year and into next year, things won't change a whole lot. So don't count on like some magic election pill.
Right.
It's not happening. It's always stayed relatively boring.
Well, think about it this way also. No matter which side you are on politically,
doesn't matter.
That individual is taking office in January. It takes a while for policy to go into place. There's still other branches that need to go through and things of that sort. So if there's any policy that's drawn up that's real estate or mortgage rate centric, which again, I doubt there will be, it's still going to take time for that to go into place anyway. So the whole wait till the election thing, well, now it's let's wait until policy. It's just now is always the time. What's the quote? Don't wait to buy real estate and wait, right? Because once you buy real estate and you wait and you're
equity
in
built.
Equity, so you're missing out on months worth of principal reduction, equity, and things of that sort. And again, if you can do it in this real estate off season, a deal can be had.
As always, Tim, thank you for your sage advice and wonderful dad joke.
Sage.
Yeah, like that? Sage, yeah. All right, we're ramping up. We have my favorite. We argue over it a little bit, but by far my favorite holiday is coming up next. So you claim in St. Patrick's. St. Patrick's is a good one, but Thanksgiving.
I think it's my assumption that St. Patrick's Day is your favorite. It's not mine. Thanksgiving is my favorite.
Thanksgiving. Yeah. It's the greatest. I'm in charge of the ham. So I said outside we have a slow cooker, but it needs to be visually maintained. You have to stand out there and make sure nothing bad happens.
Yeah, you have to watch it. Watch a hawk. Have probably 6-pack of beer.
Yes. Yeah. So the beer is essential. It's actually in the recipe. Cook has to have 3 beers. It's right there in the description. I think it's step number 5. I think.
Thought I read one that has I thought it was Scotch.
Oh, it depends how long you're standing out there. Or how cold it is. There's 2 both. No. So you have to have at least 1 or 2. And then we slow cook it. We go down to Chesapeake Bounty and grab some oysters and stuff and have a little appetizer.
Speaking of, en route to my house today is a bourbon I ordered online made from the corn from the Field of Dreams field.
Who makes that?
It was
tobacco barn?
It was an investor group. No, it was an investor group of former major league players, and they went to whoever owns that field, and they said, "Hey, when you harvest this, can we use the corn to make bourbon?" And I have a bottle. It's limited edition.
Oh, you mean the Field of Dreams field?
Field of Dreams field. Harvest the corn.
Make
the bourbon. It's called Field of Dreams.
So it's in Iowa.
It's in Iowa. They shipped it to me today. It should be arriving at my house, and it's called Field of Dreams bourbon.
We'll have to try a little bit. Our next video, we're going to try some Field of Dreams bourbon.
There you go.
That's at our December celebration.
I might be the only guy you know that has it.
You have to be. Absolutely have to be. All right, thank you for your time today. Enjoy your holiday, and you have a great Thanksgiving. Hope everybody gets a chance to relax and enjoy and spend some time with family and friends, appreciating the wonderful opportunities we have in our lives.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
See you soon.